Yeah, well, that's the freedom at this meeting. Anything can be discussed. Everything is it already. So there's nothing that you can bring up that wouldn't be it.
So you've been doing these meetings for quite a while, looks
Um,
like.
yeah, like since COVID, I started just before COVID.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I don't even know what that is now, like 3.5, 4 years. Probably four.
Okay, so that's not that long then. Okay, yeah.
No,
I thought it was 10 years or something like that. Yeah. Yeah. Good.
feels timeless, you know? And I think we all know that, right? Because if I
Mm.
I ask you your age, like, do you really like I have no idea the age. Like if when someone out,
Mm. That's right. And it seems like time, the apparent time is like passing,
yeah.
eh, like whoa and whoa, and then there's another way. It's just
Yeah.
it's just
I was just thinking that today, Manny. I'm going, God damn, where did 64 years go?
yeah, yeah. 64, you're a youngin.
I'm a youngin. Because like it was just yesterday, right? You were playing in the dirt with your buddies in, third grade. You're building a fort, and suddenly you're 64. It's crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
But that one that was looking out of the eyes, so to say, of the little boy, right? And the one what's looking now, has that
Mhm.
changed?
No, that's the thing. The awareness never changes. The one that the conscious awareness that's present never changed. Uh, it's only it's it's only the story, just kind of, and you got to think about it in order to recognize. You got to go into thought to actually go into any of it. Like right now, you can't. It's not there, and you can't experience it again. And so here you are, just okay. Like you said, what was it last week? It's already. That's what you were saying. It's
Oh
already.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I don't know why that word hit me so hard. It doesn't hit everybody the same way, I can tell you that. Here, when Nkosi first showed up about 4 years ago with already, something in here, I didn't believe him. I didn't know what he was talking about, but I said, if it is already, that's the end of seeking. It
Yeah.
just seemed obvious to me. It's like running around the block for no reason.
Yeah. What I notice is certain things will get you just like that got you. And all is well was good for me. And
Hmm.
just there, or just Sailor Bob's, just stop.
Mm.
Full stop, or what do you say? Full stop?
Yeah,
The boat type thing. You just, okay, this is it.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
uh, and everything else is conceptual. It's just
yeah.
rhetoric.
See, that's the thing, Manny. The imaginary me can't just stop. Like there is no just stopping. It can't be just
No,
it, it
no.
it can't be just this because if it's just this, where's my life? If it's just this.
Yeah, that's right. So who's cozy, or is that what you're saying when you say that? I've heard that word before. I have no idea what you're talking
Oh
about.
boy. Well, listen, if you go to my YouTube website, my
Uh-huh.
YouTube channel, you'll see
YouTube.
I have a playlist of Nkosi audios and there's all kinds of videos. So check out any of that stuff and see what you think.
Okay. And how do you spell that? It is
Nkosi, pronounced. He's in South Africa.
okay. Gotcha. Hmm.
This also, just this uh, includes the imaginary self running around that can't be stopped.
Mhm. Yeah, it includes everything.
Everything. I was thinking when you said, when you remember playing in the dirt when you were young, and now you're 64 years later or whatever, 60 years later. It's like as it, it it's not 60 years later. It's still in the dirt. That's as present here as whatever is present here. Uh, it's not in the past. It's now. The past that we call the past, our childhood, isn't in the past. Never was. It's now. It's present now. This is this is this is Michael, Don, and Manny playing in the dirt in older bodies.
But that
what,
was the freedom of because remember what it was like, like we had GI Joes. I don't know if kids know about GI Joes today. But we would make little forts and you would get lost for hours playing. It was just play, It's like, and then suddenly it all seemed to get complicated. And the play, you know, like the play kind of left the building and it got serious. It got about me. And the joy, because it became about survival. Because now I'm gonna die and that's a problem. And so what do I do about that? Well, I can ignore it until you can't.
When
So
did
that,
that come up for you?
well, I
The
was,
I'm gonna die.
well, I mean, when I first got diagnosed with prostate cancer, that was the first time. That was pretty
Mm.
devastating. I cried. Um, but the second go around, when I actually did the radiation, and I'm all better now, everything is good. Um, it's because when you're identified with the body,
Mm.
you
Yeah.
think you're the body, so ergo's the body. You think ergo's you because you're taking yourself to be limited and you're not. And that's what this whole meeting's about.
Mm.
But even feeling limited is freedom.
Hmm.
So when you think you're going to die, you get a bad diagnosis, and you think you're going to die, and you're freaking out. That that also that also is this. It's not like some state of freedom. That is also this. Um, We say it's not though.
Well, yeah, until you realize there's only this.
This until you
But 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 when you're jumping from the identity of the body and mind and senses to the essence of who we are, it it I know what you're talking about because you're talking about the essence of who you are is never uh, bound by anything. So regardless if it's if it thinks it's limited in any way, that's just the body and that apparent self that I'm believing in. So the identity in that, when they say that that's not freedom because it's bound, but only in the dream, in the dream of what I'm identifying with.
Mhm.
But the essence of who you are is always present, and it's never not free. It's never not, it's never an object, I guess. But yet it expresses itself in objects, or does it?
Well, that's that old it is and it isn't.
It is.
It
And
is and it
yeah,
isn't. So it doesn't really give you anywhere to land because
yeah,
you can't say it's not because it is, and you can't say it is because it also isn't.
right.
So you can't do anything. Like that's it. I know it doesn't sound like freedom, right? But it is. It's freedom because you're free from believing you were a limited being, that you were this person that was born and
Mhm,
has it's your body. Like that can fall away, that it's your body.
mhm, mhm. And that's a hard one to. I don't know if you can explain it to anybody. It's not.
Well, you could, I just want to say, man, you could
Yeah,
start with a tree. Like you don't think you're a tree, right? You don't, unless you're on acid or something. But generally, it's like there's no, here, there's no difference. Like these bodies are fancy trees that can talk. They're
yeah,
objects just like a tree's an object. They're
right.
living in the same, you could say, field of vision, and there's no
Yeah,
separation. There's
yeah,
there's no separation here, guys, between us. None.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And then you go into the subtle bodies, which are the ones you can see, the thoughts, feelings, emotions, sensations, all of these. They're also objects known to me, to who I am.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They're all that. And and so everything outside of the essence of who I am, which is the emptiness that allows everything to be. So here I am.
but
I, th
but
I don't know.
but
Go ahead,
no,
Dan.
but not
Yeah,
separate from everything that is.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It was funny, Michael, because my first acid trip, I was near a big oak tree, and I did become one with the oak tree. So that started my
The
spiritual
tree.
exploration.
Perfect. That's so perfect, Don.
Yeah.
Did you hug it?
Oh, I was in love with. Oh God, I didn't hug it. I was it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well,
you could say that. You could say I was hugging it. Yeah.
well, no, but that what you just said is really what this you
Yeah.
just nailed it. You didn't hug it, you were it. That's kind of what this message is saying. This is too close to you. You're not separate from this. You are this already.
Yeah.
It's no subject and object. Yeah.
So like the freedom is there's literally nothing to do. So all doing is fine. Like whatever you do is fine because there's no right or wrong. This doesn't, if it's all this,
Yeah,
right or wrong would have to be imaginary.
yeah. Do you recall the final, or not the final, but just a shift in perspective and what it was, or it just was it a gradual shift? It's like a gradual seeing that the things are known to me, and yet they're without me. How could it be? Without the self, not, it's almost like the awareness illumines the objects outside of me. And then my mind will go out and put a name and form, to name to the form and stuff like that. But prior to that, it's just a tree. It's just a, and it's not even a tree. It's, I, I guess what I'm asking is, at some point you realize that this was all a hoax as far as what I thought it was, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
yeah, yeah. Everything. And then the body and the mind are kind of one of the last things that you kind of let go of, but or see through or
Well,
just notice.
hey, Manny, have you guys seen, do you guys remember Jim Carrey in the Truman Show?
Yeah,
Remember that whole facade, that whole
yeah,
town, all the people, and
yeah.
all of a sudden he like, I forget what, like he sees behind the ocean. Remember? He sees it's a
It was
facade.
there was a wall. There was a
Yeah.
wall there at the
Yeah,
blue. Yeah,
it was
with
all
a
fake.
door.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was all fake. It was all, but it was like, so this is so good, right? The dream, it's so
yeah,
convincing that
yeah,
absolutely feels real. It
yeah,
does.
yeah, yeah. And everybody's in on it. And there is no any other
Yeah, I was going to
is
say
the
there's
thing.
no one separate to
There's
be
no one
in or
other.
out. There's
Yeah,
just the directness of what's happening. But the beauty of what's happening, it's so immediate. It's just this. Like this
yeah,
doesn't have a past. So the freedom, Manny, you're asking was like that when there was no past, when it was obvious, that whole life story, right? We've all been victimized, we've all been traumatized,
mm,
that falls away because you don't understand who that's talking about anymore because there's
yeah,
just this.
yeah, yeah. I was talking from that Truman story where everybody was watching. The whole world was watching on their TVs and
Yeah,
everything else, and and looking at the thing. And so it was like a conspiracy in a way
yeah,
that,
yeah. Good
yeah,
point. Yeah, this
yeah,
thing. It's funny how this like kind of out clevers itself. It's like that likes to laugh at other people, not knowing that they're them, like
yeah,
that
yeah,
most of the video, a lot of the videos on YouTube are like, people falling down and hurting themselves and slipping on ice. And, we like to laugh at, it makes us feel good. But the joke is it's all, it's all it. So it's like joking itself.
Hmm. Were you ever involved in a group for years and years and years, that kind of thing?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I was in like two Christian groups growing up and Bible study and I tried everything. Vedanta, uh Paramananza, Yogananda, because Lake Shrine is just down the road from me. near
Oh.
the ocean.
Hmm.
And I tried everything, every guru, Adida, Muji, Eckhart Tolle was the first. I met him. Eckhart was so beautiful. Looked into his eyes. It's like falling into an ocean.
When did you see him?
He was at UCLA, and I was, oh, sorry, no, this time I saw him at UCLA, but this was it was an event. Jim Carrey was actually there too, because Jim was a big fan of Eckhart. So like
Mm.
Jim, actually, it was actually I could tell you a funny story. Um, what happened was I was waiting on the side of the theater, and Eckhart, I saw him out of the corner of my eye walk up with his girlfriend. I don't know if they're still together, and a few
They
people.
are. Kim. Yeah.
Yeah, Kim, very good.
Yeah.
And
Kim.
somehow he made eye contact with me and just broke away from the group and
Mm.
walked right up to me and stood like a foot from me. And for like, I want to say 5 seconds,
Yeah.
he just stared into my eyes. We didn't say a word. We didn't speak.
Yeah.
And then we just kind of like shook hands and then he walked off, right?
Hmm.
So this was at a theater in Beverly Hills. So Eckhart was there. There was like 1,000 people there. And Jim Carrey, this was hilarious. He comes out on stage and he sits down in Eckhart's chair. Like you know how Eckhart had like a little clock or something on a stand
Yeah.
and a little gong, right? And some
Oh,
water.
bells. Two
Yeah,
bells. Yeah.
yeah. So Jim
Yeah.
Carrey walks out on stage and starts fucking with Eckhart's stuff,
Yeah.
right? And the
Sure.
audience is dying because everyone's a fan of Eckhart, so we all know that's his stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And he sits in the chair and he starts mimicking
Yeah.
Eckhart, like making fun, like saying like Eckhart's talking, but it's Jim
Yeah.
Carrey doing Eckhart and he's exaggerating. And suddenly from the back of the stage, who toddles out but Eckhart? And
Yeah.
Eckhart walks up behind Jim, and the audience is dying. And then finally, Jim looks up and sees Eckhart, and Eckhart's just not saying a word, just smiling.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Jim, it was great. It was great.
Yeah. That's neat. Yeah. I saw him back in '02 down in La Jolla.
Mhm.
He was at a gathering. They used to have gatherings there at old museum, and a lot of people. Tony Parsons was there. A bunch of people from Europe were there, and I used to go to the science and non-duality things too.
No. Really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
about 3 or 4 times. Yeah.
Oh my God. I used to watch all of those on, I have forgotten. I used to watch those,
Did you?
the videos. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, that was San Jose was the last couple of times that they did it in
Yeah.
Dulce Mansion or something. But before that, there was at Santa Rosa, I guess, just a ho big hotel.
That's so, I don't think people today realize how big for a couple of years there, science and non-duality, they were doing them both, like here in the US and in Europe.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And Mauricio and his wife were the people that were doing them. And I met him first at, where was it? John Wheeler's
Mhm.
place. He was having a meeting and they showed up after seeing Walensky.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they had seen Walensky that afternoon, and then they came to this other place, and then we went to this other. Yeah,
Well, for those of you who don't know, Stephen Walensky was like
yeah,
a direct disciple of Sri Nisargadatta's.
right. Yeah, yeah.
You know the famous Walensky story about when he first met Nisargadatta? The first thing he said?
Which one?
He walked up to Nisargadatta and he said, you know, I want you to know, like he was trying to impress Nisar
oh, yeah, yeah.
with his earnestness. You know, I'll do whatever Swami says, I'm just so devoted, at morning, and Nisargadatta about kicked him out. He said, yeah, I don't play that shit.
I
Yeah.
don't play that game here. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, God,
I don't play those game here.
straighten
And,
the starch
yeah,
right out of his shirt.
yeah.
Yeah. But it's so innocent, right? Because Stephen was a seeker. and a seeker wants to get something.
Yeah.
So he thought he was doing the right thing. Hey, I'm
Oh,
loyal.
definitely. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
definitely. We're all kind of programmed to do what we do. He was at that gathering too when Eckhart Tolle was there. He always wore a black turtleneck at the time, kind of turtleneck,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but it was hot too. And a jacket. But
Yeah, I
yeah,
watched all his videos.
yeah,
He was a great storyteller.
yeah. So you've been around the same type of things. Yeah. All,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, I mean all of them. Buddhism was really into that. James Schwartz and Vedanta.
What do you think of him?
Well, I mean, it's so funny because it just depends on when you would ask me. Because, when I was into it, oh my God, could you find someone more entertaining? I mean, get the popcorn, you know? He's
Yeah.
out there by Trout River and he's got diagrams and he's got charts and, he's like
Trout Lake. Yeah, Trout
Trout
Lake.
Lake. Yeah, and he's got like a bigger than life personality and endless stories.
Yeah, I was there two or three times with it for about a week. Trout
Really?
Lake. Yeah,
Wow,
yeah,
you really got around too, Manny.
yeah. Oh, well, I want to know the truth regardless of the consequences.
Exactly. Okay, that's called that's what I call hair on fire.
Burning desire.
Yeah, hair on fire. No,
You're on
I
fire.
was I talked to Leela today and I was saying that here the separation just became too painful. Too
Yeah,
painful.
yeah,
I couldn't, I was like, you're frozen. You're like, oh my God, the separation is just killing me.
yeah.
But that separation that was killing you, and I relate to that, you didn't do anything to you hated the separation, or you hated the seeking, whatever. You didn't do anything though. Something more happened to you, or you didn't do it, right?
No.
You can't do anything.
Well, there's nothing separate to do anything.
Right.
There's just what's like that's too immediate. There's just literally what's happening.
Yeah. With me, I just recognized that I was powerless. I surrendered. Yeah,
Uh,
it's like an acceptance. Okay, I give up. I've played all my cards, even the one in my back pocket. And, and then, so the fear is kind of the first to really go. And
yeah. I mean,
because that's a driving force. It kind of keeps you in.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm still trying to
yeah.
until you
I
don't.
mean, is there a giving up? I understand what you're saying, and I'm
Mhm.
in that space a lot. If there's a giving up, when I give up, there's a me. When I'm in bed praying to God, and I say, I give up.
And
Take me, do what you want with me. Show me the oneness. I give up. And I notice that's me. The more emphasis on me as
yeah,
opposed to the giving up. So I'm just asking how that worked for you. How you can't give up.
no, but
Right. Okay.
you can stop, and it's almost like you're on the ground and you're not going to get up until something guides
Yeah,
you to get
that's
up.
pretty good. I gotta say, Manny, it's tough to talk about the giving up because
Mhm.
you're not out of tries till you're out of tries.
Yeah, that's it. It, it's it's like the end of you. Everything. I mean, everything that you think you've built up. With
Yeah.
me, it was like I was tied to retirement. The house and everything just going, had all rental properties, so they're feeding me so I don't have to work and stuff and do that. So everything was fine. And then my wife got into alcoholism. This was at about when she was close to 55, 60 or something like that. After we used to go out wine tasting in California, all over just Canada and everything. But but I couldn't do anything about that. And I tried for years,
Hmm.
ups and downs, ups and downs, and the pain got so bad. It's just like what Eckhart Tolle talks about. The pain got so bad that something has to give. It's almost like something has to give. And so you start seeing with different, you start actually seeing, and it's almost like an understanding comes. And I'm looking at these books. Have you guys read the Astavakra?
Oh
It's
yeah.
it, it
God damn, that
that's
was one of my
it's
top.
one of my favorites too,
Yeah,
because it's coming straight from awareness. For me anyway.
yeah.
Those kind of things, and I'm just saying I couldn't understand it at first, but after different times and things and living life, then you go back to it and it's just clear.
Mhm.
All of a sudden, it's there's and I don't know how do you describe that? Just like you're saying, Michael, how do you can't put it into words, yet you can say that it's the end of my world.
Mhm. Yeah.
Adyashanti even did in end of, that kind of a thing. What, see, a lot of these guys, they they develop these followings, just like Muji and Adyashanti and these big followings. And okay, it's all one, like we're saying, yet these people are kind of feeding the ego. And I don't know how else to say it. And I don't know if anything really happens that changes them, other than the ones that are going to change are going to change because of the pain gets so bad that they finally surrender. And it's not just the word surrender or give up or whatever. It's just the end of everything you believed was real, valuable, could have, that had any meaning to it.
Yeah, everything you thought you knew.
Everything, everything. Even the kids you've had, they're not yours, and that kind of years ago. That Yeah, or that who had them, what?
Well, it's funny how even right when it said everything means everything,
Yeah,
like that can't be heard till it's heard. Like that
yeah,
includes whether or not there's a sense of a me there. If there's a sense of a me, that's just this. It's not a big deal.
yeah,
It's just another appearance like a cloud or a, it
yeah,
just seems extra special because somehow I've identified with it. But
yeah.
that can also thin out and it can just be obvious that you're not your thoughts.
Hmm. 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 Hmm.
I was watching some of Tim Kliss's new video Zoom, and he was talking about another strategy for the me that he was saying how seeking is the obvious strategy. Like that's the one that gets all the press. But he said there's a more subtle one that doesn't get talked about as much, and he called it waiting. The me's just,
Hmm.
I'm just going to wait it out. Eventually it'll show up.
Yeah.
I got that one.
Yeah, here too. Here too, Don.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But for years you think it's going to be an experience that you have,
Yeah.
and that's one of the other tricks.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, Manny. I'm waiting for an experience, and not just any, but the right one. And
Yeah,
somehow I'll know that it's the godly golden angel singing one.
yeah, yeah,
It's such a fantasy. It's what I
yeah,
mean? When it's seen through, it's really like a child's fairy tale.
yeah. I just wanted to take a minute on Eckhart Tolle when I first saw him down there, and then we went to lunch, and he was just one of the speakers. There was a bunch of other ones
Mhm.
and too, but he was one of them. And then he went to uh, my wife and I went to lunch at this place like in La Jolla, and sat up kind of in an upper thing, kind of a step up thing, and then here comes Eckhart Tolle with his entourage.
Yeah.
But Eckhart Tolle at the time, he was he he had not far after he wrote Power of Now, he was kind of not there as a human being so much. In other words, he had handlers to take care of him,
Mhm.
and I could see that they were in for the money. They were about three guys, and Kim was there, and some
Wow.
three or four guys, and they were just talking about that, and how we're going to make this what the amount of money that we can get you and this and the kind of thing. And it's like, and then that's what it developed into. I bought all this stuff. Don't
Oh yeah, me
mind you.
too.
I bought everything, and I was showing it at libraries for about 10 years and
Yeah.
stuff, and kind of thing, and talking about that. And,
I had a meetup.
and
I had an
huh?
Eckhart Tolle meetup.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We used to read like, a chapter at every meeting, and we went through Power of Now. What's the one? The Earth?
Yeah, the
New beginning.
And oh,
no, some Earth,
a new Earth.
New Earth. Yeah, the New Earth. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
had the part.
my favorite, I just have to say, of all his books was the little purple one called Stillness Speaks.
I like that one too. I like the Practicing the Power of Now. It was a small
Yeah.
one, similar
Yeah.
to that one
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good one too. Yeah, and I even had the flashcards.
I did too.
Well, actually, my Eckhart Tolle meeting, I somehow walked into a gigantic Borders. You kids today don't know what Borders is, but it used to be
I
a
do. Yeah,
bookstore.
bookstore. Yeah.
Yeah, huge. And Westwood was like a flagship one. Like when they had presidents sign their books or Howard Stern or celebrities, they would just do it down the street on
Hmm.
Westwood. So I went in there one day and I said, "Well, you got this beautiful, huge meeting room upstairs, like a big almost theater. Can I use it like once a month on like Tuesday night?" And they go, "Sure." And the next thing I know, my friend goes, "Oh, your picture's in the elevator." I go, "My picture's in the elevator?" Yeah, it says Michael Jeffries presenting Eckhart Tolle, Tuesday
Yeah,
night, 7.
yeah, yeah.
So we used to meet there and I'd put on his videos. Like for the first 20 minutes, we just
Hmm.
watch Eckhart on a big TV.
Yeah. We do that at the library here in Cedar City. Yeah. We did, but we had every week we had a different teacher, supposedly. Yeah, different ones. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The same type of thing. It's almost like, eh, have you ever noticed too that this is it kind of a thing? This is it. And then it turns out, oh, this is disputing everything that I think is it.
Oh my God,
And,
about a
and
hundred
then,
times. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's like the settling. You take one step and you settle there and you think you got it and you're able to communicate it to some other people that don't supposedly have
Oh
it.
yeah. Yeah.
It's just,
It seems pretty
yeah,
deregular, or however you say it. It seems that most seekers and those that get into non-duality, it's so freeing, just the concept, just you know, hearing that I'm nothing. It's still sort of taken as an identity. So that's why even non-duality has to
Yeah,
sort of be seen through, so to say. But
yeah.
compared to like all the other heavily, concepts out there, laden concepts in Vedanta, let's say. I mean, my God, the
Hmm.
gunas and the this and the that, and the layers and the seven, the pyramid. I mean, you know, I,
Mandukya, yeah. The
yeah, I mean,
Upanishad, yeah,
I needed
yeah,
5 lifetimes minimum, just to get started. So here
yeah,
there was like, no, it's got to be now. Like I didn't, I was pretty, like I didn't seem to care about anything else but this.
yeah. It, you really get, I don't know if you'd gotten into it, Don, like Rupert Spira, and I ordered all of his stuff and all his
Oh, fun.
seminars and downloaded them, played them in the car all the time, and saw him too a number of times at Science and Non-Duality, along with Francis Lucille
Yeah,
was
I was
there.
at
Yeah,
Francis's house.
yeah. A
Did a
friend of
talk.
mine was too. A
Yeah,
friend of mine that's here in Cedar City was there for a time,
yeah,
for maybe 6 months or so.
yeah. I remember driving to Santa Barbara. It's about 2 hours from here, Santa Barbara, California.
Yeah.
And I left early purposely in case Rupert showed up to set up, you know.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So, and of course, he walked in right as I was walking in. So I felt like, you know, wow, this is such a great to get one-on-one time. So I asked him, I said, well, what about money? Like, how do you, what's your thoughts on money? And he
Mm,
said, and this was like probably 20 years ago, but he said, I have exactly as much as I need, not a penny more, not a penny less.
mm. Yeah. And if you have that, you're content. Because like the fear comes in when you're thinking you're going to run out and you're not going to have enough.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's why.
But that fear of running out, not having enough, since there's no separation between that and having enough, contentment should be in both places.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any difference if you have enough,
Should be.
don't have enough, if you have the enlightenment, if you don't have the enlightenment, if you whatever we're all talking about here, it shouldn't make any difference because that's just what is. And so if there
Yeah.
is contentment, if there is such a thing as contentment, then it's all already content with things, content without things. It's already.
For who we really are, that's absolutely true. But sometimes the mind is kind of set on the finances. The mind is a trickster, and unless that's settled, and I'll just tell you, I remember years ago, I used to play drums,
mhm,
and played my last part was at the naval base down in Terminal Island. Used to be Terminal Island. There used to be a naval base there for the officers. But before that, I used to play all over the place. But I remember going over the Vincent Thomas Bridge
yeah.
and saying that I'm just sick and tired of having this torment going through my mind. I screamed it out with, no more torment, no more torment. I, I was
Yeah,
married, yeah,
yeah.
and
Those are beautiful words here. It's really like it's got to get like if the pain isn't unbearable, it's just there was going to be continue to try.
yeah, yeah,
It's got to break you. It's
yeah,
it's a humbling. It's like you don't know squat,
yeah. But as a man thinketh type, you know, uh, positive thing, whatever it is.
right? All that.
So I was caught up in the month to month thing as far as money, barely making it and barely making it, that kind of stuff for years and years and years. In my first marriage and stuff too. bought a house and that kind of stuff, barely making stuff. And interest rates were like, I think I sold a house and at 15.5% with no, it, it had no limits and it was an arm loan. That's when they first started out with arm loans back in the 77 or so, I guess Jimmy Carter. Anyway, what I was saying was that the money thing was a big deal. And I finally realized that I'm just sick and tired of that, of the pain of just being dwelling on that all the time. And you just give it up to. It's
Yeah,
almost like that because that fear dominates,
yeah.
even though it shouldn't, just like Don is saying, because who we really are. But when you're caught up in that, you're in the grip of
Well,
the alligator, you know?
yeah, I don't know about shouldn't, but there it
Yeah, that's right. There's no
You know,
can't yeah, bring that up every time because that's yeah.
being gripped in the alligator is being gripped in the alligator. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, it, it is this whole practice, like I do, similar to what you guys do, is like, we're always trying to get out of this.
Yeah.
And I have no idea. I mean, I come here on faith that uh, that there is. I don't know. I'm trying to get out of this, and I'm hearing that there's nothing to get out of.
Yeah.
It's already this, already
Yeah.
okay. So, but which includes also trying to get out of it.
yeah.
Very, very weird stuff. Very weird.
Good. Yeah, it is. No,
Yeah,
it
that's good.
should. That's why I say if it doesn't blow your mind, you
Yeah.
haven't heard it yet.
That's it.
Because it's so direct. It's saying it's already this, so there's nothing to do. It's simply whatever is happening. That's it. That's the whole,
Mm. Yeah.
Including the thought it's not supposed to be this way.
yeah, yeah, everything.
I, yeah, okay. So, what? So, I mean, but that, but that's not a pro. So I turn that into a practice. Okay, what you just said there. So I'll just I turn it into a practice, and that's just what is. But that's not it. I mean, I'm still trying. All
Yeah.
right, okay.
It-
Well, the funny part, Don, it is it. Doing a practice is 100% this.
And even if you're doing a practice to get somewhere, that's
Mhm.
this.
100%. There's only
Mm,
this. So whether you do a practice or
mm.
don't do a practice, if you say,
uh,
no, I'm not meditating, it doesn't work for me.
Right,
That's just as legit
right.
as meditating.
so the letting go and the doing is it's just the opposites. Is that what you're saying, Michael? Or yeah, because the letting go of the fear seems to open up something. But what you're saying is that it is also a thought of now I'm going to let go.
Well, it's just there's realizing there's nobody to do it already. There's nobody to
Yeah.
let go of thoughts. There's
Yeah.
nobody to become enlightened. There you go. There's
Yeah.
already no one. See, the whole enlightenment game is another joke.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. Isn't it amazing though? All the religions and all of the spiritual teachings are pointing to something outside of me, something outside, as opposed to already here.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. God
They're all
up in the sky. Yeah,
the Mormons around here. That's what they believe. But up in the sky, when they die, they're going to have all this
yeah,
crazy stuff.
yeah.
They will. And that's what they live for. Is that, I mean, not to live for, but it's,
Yeah, but it's perfect.
uh,
Is perfect. It may not be your thing or my thing, but there was a
yeah.
time I went. See, I I remember when being a born again Christian and then
Uh-huh.
snapping out of it. I was like a different person. Some lady goes, she goes, yeah, it was like you were hypnotized because you do. You become like a robot. You start repeating the party line of whatever cult that you're, yeah.
I call it the rules still apply. And what I'm talking about is like for about 10 years, I was in this group in Boulder City. Uh, and I got there because I doubted anybody had the truth. And this one person spoke, was definite on this is right and that's wrong. This is right and that's wrong. It's kind of the opposite type thing. But yet, at the end of each of his talks and stuff like that, he'd bring up the, the essence of who we are is already present.
Mm.
But yet, he was talking to a lot of people that were caught up in their minds. It's almost like when they say that you got to meet them where they're at.
Mhm.
What do you think of that? Because when we're talking here with the non-duality, I think you can bring that up, and in time, something cracks, and they start to acknowledge that there's something else.
Well, it's very natural, like when people first see this, to try and tell others about it. Like here too
Yeah,
was the
yeah,
urge to quote unquote share the good news, but I quickly saw that it was, and rightly so, it was perceived as preaching, not unlike any other religion proselytizing. It's trying to
mm,
say, oh, look, I found a better way. You need to check this out. And it's heard as, oh, so I'm not doing the right thing. You're telling me I'm wrong. You know what I mean? It can often be heard as I'm wrong.
yeah,
So now the urge to do that seems to have fallen away. I love talking about this, but only to people that sort of,
yeah,
enjoy it too. It's not looked at to talk. Like my sister's not into this, but we still have, very honest communication. And
Yeah.
yeah.
mhm,
Yeah, like this good sharing the good news to me in the context of Jesus is knowing that I and that other person are one, that there's no
yeah,
separation. So
yeah,
therefore, I'm going to meet them exactly where they're at because I am them.
Yeah.
And that is the good news. And that's how I'm really into Jesus and going deeper. And but that's the practice of my relationship with Jesus is like, no, I am you. So therefore, that's me. And therefore, and so wherever you are, I must meet you there because that's me. It's
yeah,
very, I don't know. I thought as I'm studying more Jesus, he's got to be the greatest non-dual teacher ever, or one of them.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it's all he was
Yeah.
talking about, and he was speaking from that place. And look how far it got him.
yeah, yeah,
Sorry, but he didn't get very far with it.
Well,
But it has endured.
yeah.
yeah,
But he was
yeah.
just saying, me and my father are one.
I and
Exactly.
my Father are one. Yeah,
Yeah.
And we
yeah,
are in him, so we are also
yeah,
one. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah.
exactly,
That's right. That
exactly.
there's just one thing
There's
going
just
on.
one.
Yeah,
Beautiful. Hey
Yeah,
yeah,
guys, great meeting. Really enjoyed hanging out with you guys. Real
yeah.
pleasure. Thank you guys for coming.
thank
All
you,
right, Michael.
thank you, Manny, thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Don.
Yeah.
Okay, you have a good week. Okay.
Thanks. Yeah,
Thank you,
you
guys.
guys too.
Blessings.
Yeah.
Good night.
Thanks.
Night.
Night.